Hello, everyone. I hope all of you and your family are doing well and safe. Thank you to ET for arranging this event at such an apt time when we are getting closer to start of the 5G era. So what I wanted to cover today was number one, what excitement does this 5G era has in store for us? And number two, what all we are still supposed to do before we start getting into the 5G launch. Pandemic. Yes, one of the most unfortunate event which has happened globally. However, it has really accelerated the transformation in India and globally. Transformation in quite a few aspects in our social life and in transforming the technology also. So look at it that some of these physical face-to-face services which we used to have, they got digitized overnight. So what could have taken normally a couple of years to get it digitized happened over a matter of weeks. The broadband and the access to high-speed network became a necessity. Whether it is fixed line or whether it is wireless, both of them were basically required to really run the economy and run our social life. And all that resulted into massive surge in the data. Massive surge both in the mobile data and the fixed data. And just to note that this is redefining the new normal. It is not that it is now going to come down. All these digitization will stay or will go up as we go along. And this is where 5G fits well. As they say that your past experience is your best mentor. So before I get into the forecast about 5G, let me just roll back by a few years and look at the first 5 years of 4G launch in India. The 4G mobile prices over these 5 years came down from about 8,000 bucks to about 2,000 rupees. So that's one fourth and making it much more affordable for the masses. At the same time, the tariffs initially when it was introduced, it was more or less similar level as the 3G data tariff. And all that, what it resulted into. So we have gone from almost zero subscribers to around 600 million subscribers over these 5 years. The data traffic that has grown 100x. Yes, 100 times from the time it started. And I remember that when we did the 4G launch, there was skepticism around it. So there used to be a question whether we really need 4G in India. And look at it in the last 5 or 6 years, it has moved from whether we need 4G in India to what can we do without 4G in India. So that's the transformation which 4G has taught us. And now talking about 5G, frankly speaking, 5G is not just a technology upgrade. It is a technology transformation. And that's the reason that the speed, the capacity, the latency, it is just not a linear improvement. It is exponential improvement. So for example, the users which can be carried on 4G could be in 10 million kind of a number, and in 5G we are looking at over 100 million devices. So whether it is people or whether it is sensors or other devices, 100 million devices to be connected. Speed, again, it could be 100x increase in the speed. The latency coming down to less than 1 millisecond. And 1 millisecond, definitely really high speed, right? Because it takes about 250 milliseconds to blink your eye. So that's the kind of transformation which we are talking about. And all this is proven in the field. It is not only on the slides, it is what is happening in the field. And the biggest transformation is with respect to the virtual network or the logical network. And that's where Nokia has come out with this technology of network slicing, where one physical network of 5G can be broken into multiple virtual network. So what that means is basically every enterprise gets in its own private network with assured quality of service, and that's where the enterprise hooking onto 5G would be the main attraction. So all in all, this is something which is going to help in transformational change from 4G to 5G. Now, difficult to forecast every number for 5G and how it happens over next 5 years, but at the same time, there are two or three drivers which are going to be different now. Number one, India has tasted data. This is something like, as we call it, we have tasted blood, we have tasted data, we have shown that 100x growth, and going forward, the network is going to be made more for data rather than voice. Then we are going to move from people to devices. So that means if it was 10 million subscribers, it could be 100 million devices which could be connected onto the network. And third, as I mentioned, it is going to be used for enterprises for their most critical network and having all their services on 5G as the network. Now with that, again, last year itself, if you look at it, a 5G enabled mobile phone, 5G enabled device has come down from about 20,000 bucks, and then there are average devices which are now available from 8,000 bucks. And we all know that with mass markets, where that price is going to lead to. So we clearly forecast that we would be able to see about 500 million subscribers who are going to use 5G services in next about 5 years. And the data traffic would be again a tremendous growth which will happen. You can put a number of 100x again, but it's going to be big and it is going to be massive. So with that, let's set the tone for the future with 5G. We spoke about the speed, the traffic, the latency, and all the features which 5G brings to us. But what does it really lead to? And as per our estimate, 5G is going to enable and support about 1 trillion economy by 2035. So it is just not a connectivity solution, it is something which is going to enable the overall economy of India. And all this will not happen on its own. And all this cannot be done by one individual or one organization. All of us, whether it is the equipment manufacturer, whether it is the software suppliers, whether it is the SIs, service provider, ISPs, and the government, all of us have to really work together to make it happen. So if I have to put a to-do list for all of us, I would say that these would be the 5 points which we need to cover over next 6 to 9 months before the launch really happens. And let me just go through one by one. So one, the 5G trial success. So this is something which has been kicked off. We are leading the trials there. And it is not only the trial for the technology, it is trial for the use cases, it is trial for interfacing with the existing networks which we have, because ultimately it has to work as one seamless network, and that's what we would be trialing. Second is that yes, with all the data growth which is expected with 5G, the transport layer, the core layer, that has to be upgraded again and made it ready to take care of that growth. And that's around front haul, the back haul capacity upgrade. And this is again something which we are working with the service provider to enable it. Then third, I would say that all this is going to require investment from all the ecosystem partner. And this is where my request to the regulatory would be that whatever relief and whatever positive things which have to be done for the industry, let's do it faster so that we can enable this investment. Then the fourth point on security, which is by no means the most important point, and we have to take care of it. And so the request there would be that let's streamline this security testing environment. So whether we call it as trusted vendor, trusted product, or the TEC certification, let's just bring it together as one platform for security adherence for India. And this would be basically simplify the process, and at the same time make it efficient for everyone. Last, but I would say the most important topic, the spectrum policy. So there, number one, the quantity of the spectrum. So naturally 5G, whatever is the bands which are specified in a global environment, let's just standardize on that, and let's have availability of enough spectrum to deliver that kind of speed and that kind of latency which we are talking about. And then of course the pricing, it's going to be big investment for everyone, and there again I would request the authorities to really review the spectrum pricing and make it more aligned with the global standards and whatever is affordable from the Indian subscribers' point of view. So those would be the 5 topics which we should be covering over next 6 to 9 months to make it a success. So with that, my only submission would be that let's just join hands to get these things together, to get these topics working, and make 2022 as the first year of 5G era in India. With that, stay safe, stay healthy, and thank you very much.